think we pretty much just left off here last time. I've welded it on both sides. It's not the bonniest, but it'll do. I'll get it cleaned up. I've left this edge. Gonna wait till it's tacked on the cross member here, and then I'll dress that round to where it's meant to go. But I'm going to go ahead and clean that up now. There, I've got it cleaned up. I'll put the light on. Cleaned up. I mean, you can still see where I've welded bits, but I could weld it all again and clean it back again. But you're not going to see this. So, because what's the point? It's a cross member and it's not seen at all anyway. Drilled some holes for spot welds. I'm gonna weld it in here, obviously all the way in. I'm gonna leave the back because I'm gonna cut the back out because that's pretty shit. So I'm gonna cut at least this much out the back anyway. So I'll weld it in first. The blow heater has its uses. That's me got it clamped in and ready to weld. This is sitting a bit bashed, so I can weld down here to this point. I'm going to leave this point, then I could weld down here a bit and just go bash it as I go, kind of thing. I'm going to leave this bit until the rest of it's welded in. On the underside, again, I'm just going to weld down here now. This bit needs a bit bashed in, and so does here, but I'll do that once I've got some tacks and welds in. So I'll get on and do that now. That's that bit welded in. I'm not going to show you the bottom side because it's awful. There it is, cleaned up. Going to give it a coat of paint now because that's all I'm doing for tonight. There it is with a coat of paint on it. As you can see, there's a couple of bits I still need to go back over. That's alright, I've not done this bit yet. But all in all, it's looking alright. That's it, had the second blast with the welder. It's still not perfect, but it's good enough for me. I'm happy enough with it. I think the next job I'm going to deal with on it is this blistering. I'm going to, I did think about just digging this out, all the rust in here, and treating it, spraying it, painting it, blah blah blah, and squeezing it back together. But I think that's just a half measure really, so I'm going to cut it along here. So far along anyway, until it's past all the where it's kind of delaminating. There's that bit cut to come out. You can see I'm going to cut this bit out when I'm at it as well. Got a wee bit overzealous for the grinder, so cut this little bit out and separate it from here now to get rid of this bit. There it is, cut out. It was a total pig to get that spot weld split there, but it's out now. I think I'm going to do it in 2 stages. There's my little cardboard template for what I need there, and then I'll do that bit in the next stage, just to make life easier. There it is, transferred onto metal, which is still a bit shipping container, so I'll go ahead and get that cut out just now. There it is, cut out. I'm gonna drill some holes in it for spot welds and then clean it up, do nice and shiny. There it is, nice and shiny. I'll get some weld through primer on the back side now. There is that strip clamped in and ready to weld. I'll just get some tacks in it and then remove the clamps and then weld it in properly. When I've been cleaning it up though, you'll see there's a hole. I'm just going to try and fill that with weld as opposed to cutting it out, but we'll see how that goes. There it is, tacked in. I'll just go ahead and hit that all the way down in the welder now. There it is, cleaned up. I've still got to go over that hole again, but it shows you it is salvageable. Oh, it's salvageable. Don't always need to patch if it's small enough. So I'm happy enough with that. I think at this stage a lot of people would just run a bit of cattle oil over that, or a bit some kind of filler or something anyway. But it is smooth, it's just you still see the edge of the weld kind of. There it is, welded in. I'll go ahead and get that cleaned up now. See how bad it is. There's that bit painted. Obviously I'll hate to do another bit of welding. I just put paint on it last night just so it wasn't bare metal overnight. Got my wee bit cardboard made up for there, so I'm just going to cut that out of metal, clean it up, weld it in. There that bit is. I've done that light out. That's it, welded in and blended in. It's not perfect again. A wee bit cat oil filler would do, but it's not going to be seen anyway, so is there any point? Next job I think is I'm just going to go right over this whole bottom bit with the knot wheel, see what it's like. Yeah, I've went over it with the knot wheel now. Put that light on. It's this edge I'm looking at, it doesn't seem too bad. It starts getting a bit shitty there. This bit. And it's not too bad again. Until it obviously it gets to the end. We're not going to have to do a repair anyway. It's not delaminating or anything there. And just slightly, that bit. The back side, although I've not cleaned it up, doesn't look especially bad on this bit. Looks shitty down there. I think I'll just treat it for now and maybe cut this bit out and change that. Just while I've got the knot wheel out, I think I'm just going to go right over all the front and all the rest of it as well. There it is, cleaned up with the knot wheel. It's done alright. Everything on like these bits and the like headlight bit are solid. Wasn't really concerned about that. I had to go over it with a finger sander just to get in all the wee rusty bits before I treat it. This back bit again needs finger sanded, but it's pitted, so I'll see what it's like. I think I could live with it. But it's really, that's me onto the back side of it now. This is the side I've started doing repairs on, so I'll just continue, and obviously you can see this bit needs replaced, so I'll just get on and do that. If I remember right, it was all pretty scabby right along here at the back as well, so I'll probably just renew this whole bit here. So this is the next repair on it. We're on the back side now. This is the side I've already repaired. I've drilled bigger holes for the, to actually go another size up. But the holes for where it bolts on, as you can see, this bit needs replaced. This bit, I've already had it off on the other side, it was okay. At the bottom is where it was all blistered and that, so probably I'm going to replace this whole section here, right up here, and then try and cut down the side of where these little like dents are for strength. I'm going to cut down there and replace this bit as well. So really it's this bit and down there that's getting replaced. Right, so there it is, cut out. So go ahead and make a new one of these. There's a replacement bit made. There's no need to drill spot weld holes in it, because I still have them from the other side. So in case I get some weld through primer on the back of this, get it clamped in and welded in. Basically, obviously, clean this up first. There it is, clamped in and ready to weld. We've been having a few camera issues, well, phone issues. I've got that bit welded in, painted. Oh, bloody. You could see when I've not wheeled it back, there's a couple of holes. So I'm going to end up patching yet another bit here. I may as well just taking it right up there, because I remember way back at the start when I started, this bit was a bit shit, so we'll cut that out and replace that bit as well. I've got the spot welds drilled and separated. They were a pig to separate. I think I've made quite a mess with the other side, but I'll fix it. You can see I'm just going to continue that previous cut that I'd done down and along, cutting out with the rot, and I want to try and keep this dimple here, because obviously that's adding strength to it, so I'll just cut around that. And up there, get that bit cut out just now. There I've got a replacement bit made. It's just ready to weld in. I'll put some weld through primer on the back side. I've also cleaned up this side, and again I'll put some weld through primer on that as well before I weld it in. Excuse the noise again, but the heater's going. There it is, welded in. Not prettiest welds. I like this bit. I did this bit good. But it all cleans up. Then I've got that bit welded in and cleaned back and painted. Looks okay. I've still got to weld through the spot welds from the back other side, but I'll do that at some point. I'm moving on now to the other side. As you can see, I've got it marked up. I'm going to try and cut it down here. Try and keep this dimple. Cut it down here. This is pretty shitty, so I'm just going to cut this dimple out. Then I'll probably try and put one back in. Give it a go anyway. So I'll get that cut out just now. I have this piece removed. There it is, clamped in and ready to weld. Just another bit of shipping container again. And there's that side welded in. I'll go ahead and clean that up and then try and put that wee divot in it. I've got that weld cleaned back there. quite happy with that. I don't really notice it very much apart from this little bit. I was a wee bit off levels, so I'm happy with that. I meant to do this before I welded it in, so I'm going to try and do it now. I'm basically going to smash it with a bolster and a hammer and hope for the best. I tried hitting it with a hammer and bolster and I failed. It's not going anywhere, so I'm not really that fussy about it, to be honest. It's on the back side, nobody will see it. It's only to give it a wee bit of strength. It's got plenty of strength anyway, so meh. There, that bit is painted. All in all, it's took me longer than what I expected, and there's still more work to be done on it, but that's it for another video, so there'll be more in the next one.